Welcome to Pen Positive. This is Vinod Narayan. Thanks for tuning in. Today, let's talk about going back to work, commuting daily, going to office daily. I know there's a lot of discussions that is happening whether can you work remotely all the time? Should you go back to work? Companies are also struggling to get people come back to work. Some companies have agreed on complete remote work. Some companies want it to be done hybrid. Some companies want you to come to the office every day. When it is hybrid, the question is that how many days a week and which days of the week. So it's a very interesting conversation, and I'm sure there are people who are on either side of that question. I go to office 4 days a week, and I go to office 4 days a week when the rule in the office was to come 3 days. And now I go 5 days a week. And I was thinking, why? What motivates me to go to office daily? And I wanted to share with you a few of the reasons I go to office. And this has nothing to do with my work. It has to do a lot with the environment of work and the people I work with. So the first point is that working from home makes me feel lonely. Maybe that's just me, but when I work from home, I think I'm the only person working in this entire world. And I feel very lonely. I feel I don't I don't I don't feel complete when I sit at home and work alone. And that's why I go to office. Office helps me build meaningful relationships. So all the companies that I worked in my career, I built relationships. And there are people from every single company that I worked with, that relationship I've taken forward in my life. They become my personal friends. I'm not saying that everyone in every company is a personal friend. But I think I've got a personal friend from every single company that I worked, that I could just call and say, hey, what's happening? And just talk for 5 to 10 minutes. Ask a favor, ask help. In fact, some of the times when I lost my job, I was between jobs. These are the people who came to my help and gave me opportunities. And there have been cases where I got a new opportunity, new contract, new job because of some of these colleagues that I worked before. So I think building meaningful relationships, that is one important thing why I go to office. And I don't think, at least for personally for me, sitting home, working from home, I don't think I'm capable of building that kind of relationships. Third thing is the opportunity to contribute. That becomes very visible when I'm in the office. There are a lot more opportunities to contribute when I am in the office. And again, it might be me, but there is so much distractions that happen, at least for me when I work from home. So there are so many more opportunities when I'm in the office, sitting at my desk, walking around, meeting people, talking to them. I find there are more things in the company that I could actually help and contribute on. It is not just work in the office, but it's about a community. If you don't have a community at work, then I agree. But for me, I think the community that is formed within the company, within the group, I think that is very important. And for me, I go to work not just for work, but also to be part of that community. Getting instant feedback. I don't know if it is possible when you work from home, but for me, there is this there is this instant feedback that helps me improve. And it also allows me to have lesser misunderstandings. And even if there is a misunderstanding, it's much more easily resolved than when I'm working from home, working through Slack, working through Zoom. Not that I don't communicate with people in office through Slack, I do, communicate people with Slack and other instant messaging tools. But it's so easy for me to walk around. Sometimes I would want to meet someone. I'll just walk that way. If they're in the desk, I'll just go next to them, talk to them. I think that's what it's an important human need for me. It Going to office helps me grow as an individual and as a team player. And I don't mean to say that people who work from home are not team players. I work with a lot of people who do working from home perfectly well. And this is a personal choice for me. Going to office, working from office is a personal choice. Even if the company had not asked to come every day, I would have probably gone. Because I think, but if there are no people in the office, then then actually community doesn't exist over there, right? So people being in office, meeting them, being part of their community, I think that helps. And I think it helps me grow in terms of communicating, in terms of understanding other people, in terms of even understanding myself and my thoughts. So many outside the work learning happens when I go to the office. Because most of the time, you're not discussing just about work with colleagues. You're talking about books, you're talking about some new article that has come, you're talking about ideas, you're talking about things, brainstorming happens. I find it very difficult to brainstorm when I am on Zoom calls. Yes, you can use Lucid, you can use Mural or some of the tools, yes. But three or four people getting into a room, discussing, talking, sharing ideas, there is so much to learn beyond the work in the workplace. Entering an office building in the morning, and I don't know how many of you feel that. For me, even if there is a way to get into the building from the back door, I always go to the building from the front door. And someone once asked me in a previous company that I was working, and they said, "Oh, there is other door. Can't you go that way? It's much more easy." I said, "No, I don't like the back doors. I like to go in the front door, walking straight into the office, through the reception. It makes me feel important. It makes me feel that I matter. Makes me feel good. And the commute is not that bad. So that is one reason that I go to office every single day. So for me, the commute is probably about 30 to 40 minutes one way. And I leave very early. I leave before 7 o'clock most of the days. So that's like about half an hour. And I use that time to listen to podcasts and listen to audiobooks. And sometimes I look forward for that commute because that is me time. That's a time that I use to reflect. Sometimes I don't listen to anything. I just reflect on what that day is about and something. And it's so refreshing in the morning. And evening sometimes, yes, after work you want to get home as early as possible. But I use that in a different way. Sometimes I go and watch a movie in the evening just to beat the traffic instead of being in the commute lane on at 5 o'clock. I sit in the theater and then I finish it off within 1.5 hours and then drive home. That's another possibility. Now there is a privilege. There's a luxury that I don't have to pick up my kids from school every single day. I have to drop and pick, but one of us will do it. So I have some days I am stuck at office. Some day I'm delayed. I don't have to. There was a time about 15 years back when going to office was very difficult for me. And that was a time when you don't have a choice of working from home. And today I'm much more privileged and that luxury is there for me that I don't have to go and pick up every single day. My son needs a pickup and drop, but we have three people who can drive at home, so one of us will do it. So the burden is always not on you. I think that For a lot of people working from home, I think the reason is there's so many other responsibilities that people have, which I think companies need to be considerate about. It is it is difficult to leave a meeting at 3 o'clock if you want to pick up kids at that time, or you might have a call at 7:30 and that's the time when you drop your kids at school. If you have to run the meeting, you have to be in a place. And I know some of the meetings that I set up is also at 7 o'clock, and it's kind of, some people have difficulties attending that. But those are things that we have to be considerate about the other person and then work around it. I cherish work friendships. As I said, any company that I've worked, there are friendships that have actually added value to me, not just professionally but also personally. And finally, when I go to work in the office, there's a sense of belonging. I write on LinkedIn, I never tag the company that I work, because that's not the way I belong with the company. I belong with the company by going to the office and giving my whole heart into the work, because I feel a sense of belonging. I have worked in companies where I did not have that sense of belonging, and I know how it feels. But I think now I go to office every day because there is that sense of belonging. So the question to companies are, how can you make sure that people come to office because they can build meaningful relationships? That people don't come to the office because there is free lunch, but people come to the office because they are part of community. How can companies make sure that people are more visible in terms of opportunities and contribution when they are in the office? Now, when I say that, there are some cases where people cannot come to the office. They are not in a commuting distance, and they've been hired during a time when the companies thought that they will never have people come to the office. And companies need to be considerate about that in a way in which it doesn't discriminate people who are not working in office. But I feel good if I know that there are opportunities that I can see, I can partake in when I'm in the office. I think that's very important. So companies are struggling to get people to come to the office. Companies need to be creative in asking, why should someone come to the office? You can always be very strict and say that this is a rule, or people should not come to the office because of some kind of fear. They should come to office because it adds value to their professional and personal lives. How do we do that? I think that's an interesting discussion. You guys take care. I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you.